How to double your income in 12 months. Introduction. Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and thought, is that it? I work so hard. I'm smart. Why isn't there more? You're not alone. Most of us are taught to trade our time for money. We get a job, work 40 hours a week, and hope for a tiny 3% raise each year. We are running on a financial treadmill, working harder and harder just to stay in the same place. This book is your way off that treadmill. Forget the 3% raise, we are talking about a 100% raise, doubling your income. And we are going to lay out a plan to do it in the next 12 months. This is not about lottery tickets or risky get-rich-quick schemes. It is about a fundamental shift in how you think, how you work, and how you see your own value. It is a practical, step-by-step guide. Whether you are a barista, a graphic designer, or a project manager, the principles are the same. Are you ready to stop just getting by and start building the life you actually want? Good. Let's begin. Before we dive into the first chapter, I have a question for you. And I want you to be honest with yourself. What is the one thing you believe is holding you back from earning more money right now? Is it a skill? Is it confidence? Is it your boss? Take a moment to think about it and share your answer in the comments below. Reading through the responses helps us all realize we are not alone in our struggles. Chapter 1. The X2 Mindset. Unlocking your financial thermostat. We cannot begin this journey by talking about strategies or side hustles or asking for a raise. To do so would be like trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. The structure might look good for a little while, but eventually, inevitably, it will collapse. The foundation of your entire financial life is not the money you have or the job you do, it is the mindset you bring to it every single day. You simply cannot achieve a six-figure income with a five-figure mindset. It is impossible. Before we can change your actions, we must first upgrade the operating system that is running the whole show, your brain. Let's talk about something I call the invisible ceiling. You may have never heard this term before, but I guarantee you have felt it. It is that sense that no matter how hard you work, you always seem to end up back in the same financial place. You get a small raise and then the car breaks down. You get an unexpected bonus and suddenly you have to replace the water heater. It feels like a cruel joke, like some cosmic force is determined to keep you stuck right where you are. But it is not a cosmic force. It is you. More specifically, it is your financial thermostat. Imagine the thermostat on the wall of your home. You set it to 72 degrees. If the temperature in the house drops to 70, the heat kicks on to bring it back up to 72. If the temperature rises to 74, the air conditioning kicks on to bring it back down to 72. The thermostat's only job is to maintain that comfortable, preset temperature. Your mind works in exactly the same way when it comes to money. From a very young age, based on what our parents taught us, what we saw in our community, and the messages we absorbed from society, we have all set an internal financial thermostat. This is the level of income and wealth that feels normal and safe to us. Let's say your thermostat is set for $50,000 a year. That is your comfort zone. If you have a bad year and your income drops to $40,000, you will feel a surge of panic and anxiety. You will work overtime. You will pick up extra shifts. You will cut your spending mercilessly. You will do whatever it takes to get back up to that comfortable $50,000 mark. Your internal furnace kicks on. But here is the part that no one ever tells you. The thermostat works just as powerfully in the other direction. Let's say you have a fantastic year, you get a promotion and a big bonus, and suddenly you are on track to make $80,000. Logically, you should be thrilled, but your internal thermostat, still set at 50,000, screams, danger, unfamiliar territory. This is too high. You will start to feel a strange kind of discomfort. Maybe it manifests as imposter syndrome, the feeling that you do not deserve this money and you are going to be found out. Or maybe it manifests as a sudden urge to get rid of the excess cash. You will suddenly decide you absolutely need a brand new car, even though your old one was fine. You will start making frivolous purchases, lending money to friends you know will never pay you back, or making a risky investment you have not researched. Subconsciously, you are trying to do one thing: get your financial temperature back down to the comfortable, familiar setting of $50,000. Your internal air conditioner is working overtime. This is why lottery winners so often go broke within a few years. Their bank account changed overnight, but their financial thermostat did not. They were millionaires with a mindset programmed for thousands, and their subconscious mind worked relentlessly to correct the discrepancy. The very first, most critical step in our journey to doubling your income is to consciously reach for that thermostat and turn up the dial. It is not enough to just want more money. You have to make the idea of more money feel normal, safe, and deserved. You have to reset your comfort zone. Your goal for this first chapter is to begin resetting your thermostat from where it is now, to double that number. If you earn 40,000, you need to start programming yourself to feel comfortable with the idea of 80,000. If you earn 70,000, your new set point is 140,000. This feels strange at first. It might even feel greedy or unrealistic. That is just the old programming fighting back. Acknowledge the feeling and then gently remind yourself that your income is not a measure of your worth as a person, but it is a measure of the value you provide. And you are capable of providing double the value. To help you understand this, I want to tell you a story about an experiment that was done with fleas. It is a simple but profound illustration of how we create our own limitations. Scientists placed a group of fleas in a large glass jar. As you know, fleas are incredible jumpers, capable of leaping hundreds of times their own body height. In the jar, they did what fleas do. They jumped around, constantly hitting their heads on the lid of the jar. It did not take long for them to learn. After a short while, the fleas adapted their behavior. They continued to jump, but now they only jumped high enough to avoid hitting the lid. They had learned their limit. They had set an invisible ceiling for themselves based on their environment. Here is where it gets fascinating. The scientists then removed the lid from the jar. The fleas had complete freedom. They could easily jump out and escape, but they did not. Not a single flea jumped out of the jar. They continued to jump, but only to the height of the lid that was no longer there. They had internalized the limitation so completely that it became their reality, even when the physical barrier was gone. We are those fleas. The jar is our past experiences, our current job, the expectations of our family and friends. The lid is the collection of limiting beliefs we have accepted as truth. Beliefs like, I am just not a numbers person, or you have to have money to make money, or people like us have to work twice as hard for half as much. For years we have been jumping up and hitting that lid, and we have learned to stop jumping so high. The purpose of this book, and this chapter in particular, is to inform you right now that the lid is gone. The only thing keeping you in the jar is the belief that the lid is still there. Your income level is not determined by your boss, or the economy, or your education. It is determined by the height you believe you are allowed to jump. It is time to start jumping higher. The most fundamental way to raise that invisible ceiling is to make a critical shift in your thinking. A shift from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of value. These are the two core operating systems for how people view work and money, and one of them keeps you in the jar forever, while the other one is the key to getting out. Let's break them down. The scarcity mindset is what almost all of us are taught from a young age. It is the employee mindset. At its core, it believes that resources are limited, especially time. A person with a scarcity mindset says, there are only 24 hours in a day. To make more money, I have to work more hours. This immediately puts a hard cap on your earning potential. Your income is directly tied to the clock. If you want a 20% raise, you have to find a way to work 20% more hours. This leads to burnout, exhaustion, and a life where you are constantly trading your precious, finite time for a fixed amount of money. The scarcity mindset sees the world as a pie with a fixed number of slices. If someone else gets a big slice, that means there is less for you. It is a world of competition, jealousy, and fear. It is a defensive way to live. Now let's look at the alternative, the value mindset. This is the creator mindset, the owner mindset. At its core, it believes that your income is not a reflection of the hours you work, but a reflection of the value you create for other people. This one, simple shift, changes everything. It completely unties your income from the clock. A person with a value mindset says, how can I solve a bigger problem or solve a problem for more people? They understand that you can create something of immense value in a single hour of focused work that can continue to pay you for years to come. Think of a songwriter who writes a hit song. They might have written it in one afternoon, but they get paid every time it is played on the radio, streamed online, or used in a movie. Their income is not tied to the hours they spent writing, but to the value, in this case entertainment and emotion, that the song provides to millions of people. Let me give you a more practical, everyday example. Imagine two freelance graphic designers, both hired to create a new logo for a local coffee shop. The first designer, let's call him Alex, has a scarcity mindset. The coffee shop owner asks him, "How much will this cost?" Alex thinks about his time. He figures it will take him about 10 hours of work. He wants to make $50 per hour. So he tells the owner, "My rate is $50 an hour, so it will be $500. Alex has tied his income directly to his time. He can only ever earn more by working more hours or increasing his hourly rate, which has a natural ceiling. The second designer, let's call her Bella, has a value mindset. When the owner asks her the same question, she does not think about her hours. She thinks about the value the logo will provide to the coffee shop. She asks questions. What is the goal of this new logo? Is it to attract more customers? To justify raising your prices? To help you franchise in the future? The owner says that a great logo and rebranding would help them stand out from the new Starbucks down the street and could increase their daily sales by 10%. Bella does some quick math. She finds out the shop makes $2,000 a day. A 10% increase is $200 a day. That is over $70,000 a year in new revenue for the coffee shop, all stemming from the new brand identity. Now when Bella thinks about her price, she is not thinking about 10 hours of work. She is thinking about the $70,000 of value she is creating for her client. So she confidently tells the owner, "For a project of this importance, which will become the face of your brand and directly contribute to your revenue growth, the investment is $5,000. The owner, who is focused on the $70,000 upside, sees this as an incredible bargain. Bella just earned 10 times what Alex did for the exact same amount of work. She was not paid for her time. She was paid for her value. That is the difference. It is a game-changing shift in perspective. You have to stop thinking about your hourly rate and start thinking about the results you create for others. This brings us to what I believe is the single most important formula you will ever learn when it comes to your finances. It is the engine that drives everything we will do from this point forward. It is elegantly simple, yet profoundly powerful. The formula is this: income equals value multiplied by scale. Let's write that down. Let's say it out loud. Income equals value multiplied by scale. Let's break down the two parts of this equation. First is value. Value is simply how well you solve a specific problem for a specific person. The key here is specificity. You do not get paid for being a hard worker in general. You get paid for solving a problem. The bigger and more painful the problem you solve, the higher your value. A surgeon who performs a life-saving heart operation provides an immense amount of value in that moment, solving the biggest problem a person could have, which is why they are compensated so highly. A plumber who fixes a burst pipe at 3 in the morning is solving an urgent, painful problem, and their value in that moment is very high. A barista who makes a perfect latte provides a smaller amount of value, solving the problem of someone needing caffeine and a pleasant morning ritual. The value is lower, but it is still real. To increase your value, you must become better at solving a particular problem. This means acquiring new skills, deepening your expertise, and becoming more efficient and effective at delivering a result. The second part of the equation is scale. Scale is simply how many people you can deliver that value to. This is where you can achieve leverage. You can have the most valuable skill in the world, but if you can only apply it to one person at a time, your income will always be limited. Let's go back to our examples. The heart surgeon provides incredibly high value, but has very low scale. They can only operate on one patient at a time. Their income is high, but it is capped by the number of hours they can physically stand in an operating room. The local barber is another example of high value, low scale. They might give the best haircut in town, solving the problem of looking and feeling good, but they can only serve one client at a time. Now think about someone who creates a popular mobile app that helps people learn a new language. The value provided to any single user might be moderate. It is helpful, but it is not life-saving. However, the app has massive scale. It can be downloaded and used by millions of people all over the world simultaneously. The creator's income is the result of that moderate value multiplied by that enormous scale. J.K. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter books. The value of the story is delivered to one reader at a time, but the scale is hundreds of millions of books sold, not to mention movies and merchandise. Her income comes not just from the value of her storytelling, but from the incredible scale that publishing and media allowed. To double your income in the next 12 months, you have one of two choices. You can either double your value, or you can double your scale. The most powerful approach, of course, is to increase both. Look at your current job or your current source of income right now through this lens. Ask yourself, what problem do I solve? That is your value. How many people do I solve it for? That is your scale. If you are a salaried employee, you are essentially solving problems for one entity, your employer. Your scale is one. To double your income, you could dramatically increase your value to that one employer by solving much bigger problems for them, leading to a major promotion. Or you could keep your value the same, but increase your scale. You could take the skill you use at your job and start a side business, solving the same problem for 5, then 10, then 20 new clients. Your scale is no longer one. You are multiplying your value across many sources. This is the mathematical reality of wealth creation. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is a simple equation. Every strategy we will discuss in the coming chapters is designed to manipulate one of these two variables in your favor. But before you can effectively increase your value or your scale, you have to do the deep internal work of raising your financial thermostat and shifting your mindset. You have to believe you are worthy of providing more value and reaching a greater scale. This brings us to your first major action step of this journey. It is not about making a budget or looking for a new job. It is something much more fundamental. I call it the mindset audit. For the next 7 days, your only job is to become an observer of your own thoughts. You are going to become a detective, hunting for the limiting beliefs that form the bars of your mental cage. Get a small notebook and a pen or use a notes app on your phone. I want you to carry it with you everywhere. Your mission is to write down every single negative or limiting thought you have about money, wealth, your abilities, or your potential. Do not judge the thoughts. Do not try to argue with them. Just observe and record. What do you hear yourself saying in your own mind when your friend tells you about their expensive vacation? Do you think, must be nice, with a hint of resentment? Write it down. What is your immediate thought when you see a job posting with a salary that is double what you currently make? Do you think, I could never get a job like that, or I am not qualified? Write it down. When you pay your bills, do you feel a sense of anxiety and scarcity, thinking, there is never enough? Write it down. Listen for the phrases you inherited from your family. Money is the root of all evil. We are not the kind of people who get rich. You have to work your fingers to the bone just to get by. These are not just words. They are lines of code that have been programmed into your operating system, and they are running in the background, influencing every financial decision you make. I want you to be a ruthless detective for 1 week. Record everything. Here are some categories of thoughts to look out for. 1. Beliefs about your own capabilities. I am not smart enough. I am not good with money. I am too old to start something new. I do not have the right education. 2. Beliefs about money itself. Money is dirty. Wanting more money is greedy. It is more noble to be poor. 3. Beliefs about the world and other people. Rich people are all dishonest. The system is rigged against me. All the good opportunities are already taken. To get ahead, you have to step on other people. At the end of the 7 days, you will have a list. This list is pure gold. It is a diagnostic report of the faulty software that has been holding you back. Just the act of writing them down and seeing them in black and white will begin to rob them of their power. You are moving them from the subconscious, where they run on autopilot, to the conscious, where you can examine them. Once you have your list, I want you to go through a simple 3-step process for each belief. First, question it. Ask yourself, is this belief absolutely 100% true? Let's take the belief, I am not good with money. Is that really true? Have you never once made a good financial decision? Have you never saved up for something you wanted? Have you never paid a bill on time? You will quickly find that these absolute statements are almost always false. They are exaggerations, not facts. Second, ask yourself where this belief came from. Did you learn it from your parents, who maybe struggled with debt? Did you have a bad experience in the past that you have now generalized to your entire identity? Understanding the origin of the belief helps you see it as an old piece of programming you inherited, not an essential truth about who you are. Third, and most importantly, reframe it. Create a new empowering belief to replace the old limiting one. The key is to make it believable and action-oriented. The belief, I am not good with money, could be reframed as, I am learning to become a master of my personal finances. This is a powerful shift. It acknowledges that you may not be perfect right now, but it puts you in a state of growth and control. The belief, all the good opportunities are taken, can be reframed as, opportunities are everywhere and I am training my mind to see them. The belief, wanting more money is greedy, can be reframed as, the more money I earn, the more good I can do for my family and my community. This mindset audit is not a one-time fix. It is a practice. It is mental hygiene. You have been running the old software for decades. It will take time and repetition to install the new one. But this is the work. This is the foundation upon which your entire financial transformation will be built. You must clear out the old weeds of scarcity before you can plant the seeds of abundance. You have to believe you can escape the jar before you can even think about jumping. Remember the story of Roger Bannister. For centuries, the entire world believed that it was physically impossible for a human to run a mile in under 4 minutes. It was not just a difficult goal. Doctors and scientists considered it a fatal barrier. They believed the human heart would literally explode. This was the lid on the jar of human potential. Then, on May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister did the impossible. He ran a mile in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. He proved that the lid was never really there. It was just a collective limiting belief. But here is the most important part of the story. Once Bannister broke the barrier, what happened? Just 46 days later, another runner broke the 4-minute mile. The year after that, 3 more runners did it in the same race. Today, it has been achieved thousands of times and is the standard for elite middle-distance runners. What changed? The human body did not suddenly evolve in those 46 days. The running tracks and shoes did not dramatically improve. What changed was the mindset. What changed was the belief in what was possible. Once the invisible ceiling was shattered by one person, everyone else suddenly realized they could jump higher too. You must be your own Roger Bannister. You have to be the first one to break the 4-minute mile in your own mind. You have to challenge the expert opinions and the conventional wisdom that tell you doubling your income in a year is impossible or irresponsible. It is not. It is simply a matter of upgrading your mindset, understanding the equation of value and scale, and then executing a disciplined plan. As you go through your week doing the mindset audit, be kind to yourself. You're going to uncover some deep-seated and uncomfortable beliefs. This is normal. This is part of the process. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And as the observer, you have the power to choose which thoughts you want to keep and which ones you want to discard. You are in control. You are the programmer. It is time to write a new code for yourself. A code of abundance, of value, of potential. A code that sets your financial thermostat not to just enough to get by, but to a level that allows you to live a life of freedom, choice, and impact. The lid is off. It is time to start training for a higher jump. Chapter 2. The Personal Inventory, Finding Your Hidden Gold. In the last chapter, we did the crucial work of rewiring our mindset. We talked about your financial thermostat, the invisible ceiling holding you back, and the profound shift from a scarcity mindset to a value mindset. We established the fundamental law of income. Income equals value multiplied by scale. You have spent a week auditing your thoughts, identifying the limiting beliefs that have kept you trapped in the jar. You now understand that the lid is off, the foundation is poured. Now it is time to see what we are going to build with. It is time to assess your raw materials. Many people believe that to make more money, they need to acquire something they do not have. They need a new degree, a special certification, a lucky break, or a rich uncle. This is one of the most pervasive and paralyzing myths in our culture. The truth is, you are already sitting on a gold mine. Right now, as you listen to these words, you possess a unique collection of skills, experiences, talents, and passions that are immensely valuable. You have simply never been taught how to see them, how to catalog them, and how to connect them to the needs of the world. This chapter is about taking a personal inventory. We are going on an archaeological dig into your own life to uncover the hidden gold that is buried there. Forget what you think you lack. For now, we are going to focus entirely on what you already have. You have more assets than you can possibly imagine, and by the end of this chapter, you will have a clear map of where your treasure is buried. The first and most important part of this process is what I call the skill stack audit. The concept of a skill stack was popularized by Scott Adams, the creator of the Dilbert comics. He argued that it is very difficult to become the absolute best in the world at one specific thing. However, it is surprisingly easy to become very good, say in the top 10%, at 2 or 3 different things. The magic happens when you combine those skills. Scott Adams, for example, is not the world's greatest artist, he is not the world's funniest comedian, and he is not the world's most experienced business expert, but he is a very good artist, a very funny writer, and he has a deep understanding of the absurdities of corporate life. By combining or stacking these 3 skills, he created something unique and incredibly valuable: the Dilbert comic strip. He became the best in the world at his specific combination of skills. You have a skill stack too. The problem is, most of us devalue our own skills. We think, oh, anyone can do that, or that is just a hobby, it is not worth anything. We are going to dismantle that belief right now. I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen, or open a new document on your computer. You are going to create 3 columns. We are going to fill these columns with the raw materials of your future income. The first column is titled Marketable Skills. These are the skills that you could, in theory, get paid for tomorrow. They are often the most obvious ones, the things you might put on a resume, but I want you to dig deeper than just your job title. Do not just write project manager. Break that down. What does a project manager actually do? They communicate with stakeholders. They create timelines and budgets. They use specific software like Asana or Microsoft Project. They run meetings effectively. They write clear and concise emails. Those are the actual skills. I want you to list every single one you can think of. Let's brainstorm some categories to get you started. Think about technical skills. Do you know how to use Microsoft Excel? And do not just say yes. What can you do with it? Can you create pivot tables? Can you write formulas? Can you build a financial model? Be specific. Do you know how to use any Adobe software like Photoshop or Premiere Pro? Can you build a simple website on Squarespace or WordPress? Can you type quickly and accurately? Can you troubleshoot basic computer problems? These are all highly marketable skills. Now think about communication skills. Are you a good writer? Can you write a professional email? Can you write a compelling story? Can you proofread a document and catch all the errors? Are you a good public speaker? Maybe you are not giving keynote addresses, but are you comfortable presenting ideas to a small group in a meeting? Are you a good listener? Do you have a knack for making people feel heard and understood? That is an incredibly rare and valuable skill in sales, management, and customer service. Think about organizational skills. Is your closet perfectly organized by color and season? That is a skill. Can you plan a group trip for your friends, handling all the logistics of flights, hotels, and activities? That is a project management skill. Do you manage your household budget effectively, making sure all the bills are paid on time? That is a financial administration skill. Stop dismissing these things as just life stuff. They are real, tangible skills that companies pay people a lot of money to do. Think about sales or persuasion skills. Have you ever convinced your group of friends to go to the restaurant you wanted to try? Have you ever successfully negotiated a discount on a purchase? Have you ever worked in retail and helped a customer find the perfect product? That is sales. That is persuasion. I want you to spend at least 15 minutes on this first column. Do not filter yourself. Do not judge whether a skill is good enough. If you know how to do it and someone somewhere would pay for it, write it down. You will be amazed at how long this list becomes once you give yourself permission to acknowledge your own capabilities. Remember, the value you provide is based on the problems you can solve. This list is a catalogue of the problems you are currently equipped to solve. Now let's move to the second column. This one is titled Passion Skills. This is where we dig for the fuel that will power your journey. Passion skills are the things you love to do, the things you would do for free, the things you lose track of time doing. This column is critically important because doubling your income is going to require effort. There will be days when you are tired and unmotivated. If the work you are doing is built on a foundation of something you genuinely enjoy, you are infinitely more likely to push through those difficult moments. Your passion is your sustainable energy source. So, what do you love? What are your hobbies? Again, be specific and do not judge. Do you love to bake? Write it down. Do you spend hours playing video games? What games? Are you good at strategy games or first-person shooters? That demonstrates strategic thinking or fast reflexes. Write it down. Do you love to garden? Do you play a musical instrument, even if it is just for yourself? Do you love reading about a specific period in history? Do you enjoy working out, researching different fitness routines and nutrition plans? Do you love to draw or paint or knit? Are you the person who organizes board game nights for your friends? Think about the things your friends and family know you for. Are you the movie buff who always knows what to watch? Are you the fantasy football league champion? Are you the person everyone asks for cooking advice? Are you the one who can assemble IKEA furniture without having a complete meltdown? These are all passion skills. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Sarah. Sarah worked a perfectly respectable but unfulfilling job in data entry. Her marketable skills list included things like fast typing, attention to detail, and proficiency in certain software. But her passion skills list was where she came alive. She loved organizing. She would spend her weekends reorganizing her pantry, helping her friends clean out their garages, and creating beautifully labeled systems for everything. She just thought it was a fun, slightly weird quirk. But when she did this exercise, she put organizing closets in her passion skills column. She realized that the feeling of creating order out of chaos gave her a huge amount of energy. She eventually started a small side business as a professional home organizer, using her passion to solve a very real and frustrating problem for busy people. Her income from her side business quickly surpassed her full-time job's salary. The gold was there all along, she just had to recognize it as gold. Your passion column is your map to your energy. Do not skip this part. What you love to do is just as important as what you are paid to do. We are looking for the overlap, the intersection where what you are good at meets what you love. That intersection is a powerful place to build from. Now for the third and final column, this might be the most powerful one of all. This column is titled Hidden Skills. Hidden skills are the things you do so naturally that you do not even recognize them as skills. They are like the air you breathe. You are so good at them that you assume everyone is, but they are not. These skills are often the core of your unique genius, your personal superpower. Discovering them requires a bit of detective work and self-reflection. How do you find your hidden skills? Here are a few questions to ask yourself. What do people always compliment you on? Not about your appearance, but about your character or how you do things. Do people often say, "You are such a great listener," or "You always stay so calm under pressure," or "You have a way of explaining complicated things so that anyone can understand them"? These are not just compliments. They are data points highlighting your hidden skills. What do your friends and family always come to you for help with? Are you the person they call when they need to vent and need a compassionate ear? That is a hidden skill in empathy and emotional support. Are you the one they call when their new phone is not working or their computer is acting up? That is a hidden skill in technical problem solving. Are you the one they ask to help them write an important email or review their resume? That is a hidden skill in writing and communication. Are you the one who always knows the perfect gift to give for any occasion? That is a hidden skill in thoughtfulness and understanding people's needs. Think about a time you faced a difficult challenge and overcame it. What personal qualities did you have to draw upon? Did you have to be incredibly persistent? Did you have to be resourceful and find a creative solution? Did you have to be disciplined and stick to a plan, even when it was hard? Persistence, resourcefulness, and discipline are incredibly valuable hidden skills. Let me give you an example. A man named David worked in a warehouse. He considered himself unskilled, but when he did this exercise, he realized something. At work, whenever a piece of machinery broke down, he was always the first one to start tinkering with it. He did not have formal training, but he had an intuitive sense of how things worked. He could look at a complex system, see how the parts fit together, and logically deduce where the problem was. His colleagues always said, "Just let David look at it, he will figure it out." His hidden skill was diagnostic thinking and systems analysis. He started taking online courses in mechanics and eventually became a highly paid diesel engine technician, a job that was a perfect fit for his natural, hidden talent. He had the skill all along, he just never had a name for it. Spend some real time on this third column. It might feel awkward because it requires you to acknowledge your own strengths, but it is essential. Your hidden skills are often the most authentic and powerful parts of your skill stack. When you combine a marketable skill like writing with a passion skill like history and a hidden skill like simplifying complex topics, you might have the foundation to become a brilliant historical non-fiction writer for a mainstream audience. The combinations are endless, and they are unique to you. Once you have your 3 columns filled out, I want you to just sit and look at them for a while. This is your personal inventory. This is your treasure map. This is the evidence that proves you are not starting from zero. You are starting from a place of immense talent and potential. Now, we need to connect this inventory to our second crucial asset, your time. Most people who want to earn more money have a common complaint. "I do not have time." This is both a genuine feeling and a complete myth. You have the exact same amount of time as everyone else on the planet, 168 hours per week. The question is not whether you have time, the question is where your time is going. To solve this, we need to stop thinking about time management and start thinking about time investment. We are going to create your time portfolio. Just like a financial portfolio, where you have different assets like stocks, bonds, and cash, your time is also allocated to different categories of activities, some of which produce a high return and some of which produce a low return or even a negative return. The key to finding the time to double your income is to consciously shift your allocation from low-return activities to high-return activities. Let's define our terms. Low-return time is any activity that does not contribute to your future goals, your well-being, or your happiness. The most obvious culprit here is mindless consumption. This is not the same as conscious relaxation. Watching a movie you have been looking forward to all week with your family is a high-return activity. It builds relationships and helps you recharge. Mindlessly scrolling through social media for 2 hours, feeling a mixture of boredom and envy, and then wondering where the evening went is a profoundly low-return activity. Studies have shown the average person spends nearly 2.5 hours on social media every single day. That is over 17 hours a week. That is a part-time job's worth of time, spent on an activity that often leaves you feeling worse than when you started. Other low-return activities include complaining. Complaining feels productive, like you are diagnosing a problem, but it is a trap. It drains your energy and keeps you focused on the negative, without leading to any solution. Watching television shows you do not even particularly like, just because it is on, is low return time. Worrying about things you cannot control is low return time. Engaging in gossip is low return time. These activities are the junk bonds of your time portfolio. They offer the illusion of being busy or engaged, but they yield no positive results. Now let's talk about high return time. These are the activities that are an investment in your future self. They are the blue chip stocks of your portfolio. There are 4 main categories of high return activities. The first is learning. This includes reading books, listening to podcasts like this one, taking online courses, or practicing a new skill. Every hour you spend learning is an investment that pays dividends for the rest of your life by increasing your value in our income equation. The second is creating. This is the opposite of consuming. Creating means producing something. It could be writing an article, recording a video, building a piece of furniture, coding a small program, or developing a new business plan. Creating is how you translate your skills into tangible value that can be shared with the world. The third is connecting. This means intentionally building and deepening relationships. It is not about mindless socializing. It is about having a meaningful conversation with your partner, networking with a mentor in your field, or spending quality, focused time with your children. Strong relationships are a key indicator of a happy and successful life. The fourth is recovering. This is not the same as being lazy. Recovery means activities that genuinely recharge your mind and body. This includes exercise, healthy sleep, meditation, and spending time in nature. You cannot perform at your peak if your body and mind are exhausted. Recovery is what allows you to show up with energy for all the other high-return activities. Your action step here is to conduct a time audit. It is simple, but it will be one of the most eye-opening exercises you ever do. For the next 3 days, I want you to track your time. Get another notebook, and every hour I want you to write down what you spent the last 60 minutes doing. Be brutally honest. No one else needs to see this. If you spent an hour scrolling on Instagram, write it down. If you spent an hour watching cat videos on YouTube, write it down. At the end of the 3 days, take a highlighter and go through your list. Highlight all the low return time in one color and all the high return time in another color. The results will probably shock you. You will discover that you do, in fact, have time. You might have 10, 15, or even 20 hours a week that are currently being invested in low return activities. Our goal is not to eliminate all leisure time and turn you into a productivity robot. The goal is to consciously reclaim just 5 to 10 of those low return hours and reinvest them into high return activities that will directly contribute to your goal of doubling your income. Instead of 1 hour of scrolling, you will take 1 hour to work through an online course related to one of your marketable skills. Instead of watching a random TV show, you will spend 1 hour writing a plan for your side hustle. This is not about finding more time. It is about reallocating the time you already have. Now that we have our inventory of skills and we have identified where we can find the time, we come to the final step of this chapter, identifying your income lever. An income lever is the specific vehicle you will use to translate your skills and time into more money. There are an infinite number of ways to make money, but they almost all fall into one of 3 primary strategies. The biggest mistake people make is trying to do all 3 at once. They get overwhelmed, make progress on none of them, and give up. Your job right now is to understand these 3 paths and choose one. Just one. You will focus on this one path with singular intensity for the next 90 days. Lever number 1 is the intrapreneur. The word intrapreneur means acting like an entrepreneur inside of a larger organization. This is the path for you if you generally like your job, your company, or your industry, but you feel you are underpaid and underutilized. Your strategy is to dramatically increase your value within your current company to a point where a massive raise or promotion becomes the only logical outcome. You are increasing your value for a scale of 1, your employer. The pros of this path are its relative safety and stability. You have the resources of the company behind you, a steady paycheck, and a clear structure. The cons are that you are ultimately limited by the company's budget and culture, and you have to navigate office politics. This path is perfect for the person who is reliable, a good team player, and enjoys improving existing systems. Lever number 2 is the freelancer, also known as the side hustler. This is the path of taking one of your skills, likely from your marketable skills list, and selling it directly to your own clients as a service. This could be freelance writing, graphic design, consulting, bookkeeping, social media management, or being a virtual assistant. Your strategy is to keep your value per client relatively constant at first, but dramatically increase your scale from 1, your employer, to 5 or 10 clients. The pros of this path are speed and control. You can start earning extra money very quickly, and you are your own boss. You set your own rates and choose your own projects. The cons are that you are still fundamentally trading your time for money, and you have to handle everything yourself, from finding clients to sending invoices. This path is perfect for the person who is self-motivated, action-oriented, and wants to see a direct relationship between their effort and their income. Lever number 3 is the creator. This is the path of building an asset that can be sold over and over again. This asset is a product, not a service. It could be a digital product like an ebook, an online course, a software application, or a paid newsletter. It could also be a physical product, or it could be an audience-based business like a YouTube channel or a podcast that you monetize through advertising or sponsorships. Your strategy here is to focus on creating massive scale. You build the asset once, and it can be sold to 10, 100, or 10,000 people without you having to be personally involved in every transaction. The pros of this path are leverage and scalability. This is the path with the highest long-term income potential and the one that can lead to passive income. The cons are that it is the slowest path and the most uncertain. It requires a significant upfront investment of time, with no guarantee of a payoff. This path is perfect for the person who is a teacher at heart, who is patient, and who enjoys building systems and creating content. I want you to think carefully about these 3 levers. Which one resonates most with you right now, at this stage of your life? Which one aligns best with the skills you identified in your audit? Which one feels most exciting? There is no right or wrong answer, but you must choose one. All of your focus for the next 3 months will be dedicated to pulling that single lever. We have now completed our personal inventory. You have your skill stack, you have your time portfolio, and you have chosen your income lever. The final action step for this chapter is to create your opportunity map. This is a simple 1-sentence declaration that will guide your actions. The sentence is structured like this. For the next 90 days, I will focus on the path of the entrepreneur, freelancer, creator by using my primary skill of your chosen skill to achieve the initial goal of a small specific outcome. Let me give you 3 examples. An opportunity map for an entrepreneur might be, for the next 90 days, I will focus on the path of the entrepreneur by using my primary skill of Excel and data analysis to achieve the initial goal of creating a new automated report that saves my department 5 hours of work per week. An opportunity map for a freelancer might be, for the next 90 days, I will focus on the path of the freelancer by using my primary skill of writing to achieve the initial goal of landing my first 2 paying clients for blog post writing. An opportunity map for a creator might be, for the next 90 days, I will focus on the path of the creator by using my primary skill of teaching yoga to achieve the initial goal of outlining my 10-page ebook, Yoga for Busy Professionals. I want you to write down your opportunity map. Put it somewhere you can see it every single day. On your bathroom mirror, on your computer monitor, as the lock screen on your phone. This is your compass. This is your North Star for the next quarter. You have moved from the abstract world of mindset to the concrete world of personal assets and clear direction. You have your map. In the next chapter, we are going to give you the step-by-step playbook for your chosen path. We are going to turn your plan into action. You have done the hard work of introspection. You have found the gold. Now, it is time to start bringing it to the surface. Chapter 3. The X2 Playbook, the 3 paths to double income. In the last chapter, we took a deep and honest look inside ourselves. We conducted the skill stack audit, discovering the marketable, passion, and hidden skills you already possess. We created a time portfolio, identifying the low return hours we can reclaim and reinvest in our future. And most importantly, you made a choice. You chose one of the 3 income levers, the entrepreneur, the freelancer, or the creator. You wrote down your opportunity map, your guiding star for the next 90 days. A goal without a plan is just a wish. You now have a goal and a direction. This chapter is the plan, this is the playbook. This is where the theory ends and the action begins. I am going to give you 3 distinct, detailed, step-by-step playbooks. You will only need to focus on one of them right now, the one that corresponds to the lever you chose. Do not get distracted by the other 2. You can always come back to them later. For now, your job is to master your chosen path. Each playbook is designed to get you tangible results within the next 30 to 90 days. It is designed to build momentum. Remember the flywheel analogy we will discuss later. Getting it to move 1 inch is the hardest part. These playbooks are designed to give you that first crucial push. Find the section that matches your choice, and let's get to work. You have everything you need to start. The only thing missing is execution, and that starts today. Playbook number 1. The Intrapreneur. Become undeniable at your 9 to 5. So you have chosen to double your income from within your current organization. This is a smart and strategic move. You have the advantage of an existing platform, a steady income, and inside knowledge. Your mission is to transform yourself from a good employee who does their job into an indispensable asset who drives tangible value. You need to become so valuable that a significant raise or promotion is not just a request, but a logical and obvious business decision for your employer. This playbook has 4 key steps. Step 1. Stop thinking like an employee. Start thinking like an owner. This is a mindset shift, but it is one that manifests in very specific actions. An employee waits to be told what to do. They see their job description as a set of boundaries. They see problems as someone else's responsibility. An owner, on the other hand, is always looking for opportunities to improve the business. They see their job description as a starting point, not a limit. They see problems as opportunities in disguise. Your first action is to become a problem finder. For the next 2 weeks, your secret mission is to observe and listen. In team meetings, listen not just to what is being said, but to what is being complained about. What processes are clunky and inefficient? What tasks take up way too much time for the value they produce? What are customers or clients consistently frustrated with? Talk to your boss. But do not ask, "What should I do?" Ask a better question. What is the most frustrating or time-consuming part of your week? Or what is the biggest challenge our team is facing, right in our path to hitting our goals? You are looking for pain. Business runs on solving pain. Your goal is to identify one significant, recurring pain point within your team or department. It could be a messy reporting process that takes hours every week, a lack of clear communication between departments that causes delays, or an outdated system that is costing the company money. Find a pain point that you have some skill or knowledge to solve, based on the skill stack audit you did in the last chapter. Step 2. Propose solutions, not problems. Once you have identified a pain point, your employee brain will want to complain about it. You must resist this urge. Complaining is cheap. Solutions are valuable. Your next action is to develop a simple, one-page proposal for a solution. This does not have to be a massive, company-wide initiative. Start small. The goal is to get a tangible win. Let's say the pain point is that your team spends 4 hours every Friday manually compiling data from 3 different spreadsheets into a weekly report for management. It is tedious and prone to errors. Your solution could be to use your Excel skills to create a new master spreadsheet with a dashboard that automates 90% of the process. Your one-page proposal would outline the following. 1. The problem. Briefly state the current process and its costs in terms of time and accuracy. Our current weekly reporting process takes approximately 4 hours of manual work and has an average error rate of 5%. 2. The proposed solution. Describe your idea in simple terms. I propose creating an automated Excel dashboard that will pull data from the 3 source sheets and generate the report in under 10 minutes. 3. The expected outcome. Quantify the benefits. This will save the team approximately 15 hours of labor per month and significantly improve data accuracy, allowing us to make better decisions. For the required resources, what do you need? In this case, it might just be 6 to 8 hours of my own development time, which I can complete over the next 2 weeks without impacting my current duties. You then schedule a brief meeting with your boss and present this. You are not asking for permission to do less work. You are showing them that you are thinking proactively about how to save the company time and money. You are acting like an owner. 99% of employees never do this. By simply taking this step, you have immediately set yourself apart. Step 3. Master the brag document. This may be the most important tactical advice in this entire playbook. Human memory is notoriously unreliable, especially for your boss who is managing multiple people and projects. They will not remember the great thing you did 6 months ago when it comes time for your performance review. It is your job to remember for them. A brag document is a private, running log of your accomplishments. You will open a simple document on your computer, and you will update it every single Friday for 5 minutes. That is it. Just 5 minutes. What do you track? You track everything, big and small, in 2 categories. The first category is quantitative wins. These are the achievements that can be measured with numbers. This is the language that business understands. Did your one-page proposal get approved? Once you implement it, you write, initiated, developed, and launched the new automated reporting dashboard, resulting in a savings of 15 hours per month for the team. Did you work on a project that increased sales? Find out the number. Contributed to the Q3 marketing campaign, which generated $150,000 in new revenue. Did you solve a customer's problem that prevented them from leaving? Resolved a critical support ticket for client X, retaining their $30,000 per year account. Always be on the lookout for numbers. Money saved, time saved, revenue generated, efficiency increased by a certain percentage. The second category is qualitative wins. These are the accomplishments that are harder to measure, but are just as important. This is where you will copy and paste positive feedback. Did a client send you an email saying, "Thank you so much, you made this process so easy"? Copy it into your document. Did your boss's boss mention in a meeting that they were impressed with your presentation? Write it down with the date and context. Did a colleague from another department thank you for your help? Document it. This section builds the story around the numbers, showing that you are not just effective, but also a pleasure to work with and a valuable team player. Maintaining this document does 2 things. First, it is an incredible confidence booster. On days when you feel like you are not making progress, you can read through it and see the tangible value you have created. Second, it transforms your performance review from a subjective conversation into a data-driven business case, which brings us to the final step. Step 4, the value conversation. After 3 to 6 months of consistently finding and solving problems and meticulously documenting your wins, you will be ready to ask for the raise that will put you on the track to doubling your income. This is not the typical, "Can I have a raise?" conversation. This is a value conversation. You will schedule a meeting with your boss specifically to discuss your career trajectory and compensation. You will walk into that meeting with a printed, 1-page summary of your brag document. The script for the conversation is simple and powerful. It goes like this. You start by reaffirming your commitment to the company. "Thank you for meeting with me. I have really enjoyed my role here over the past year, and I am excited about the future of the company and our team." Then, you present your evidence. "I wanted to take this opportunity to review the value I have delivered over the last 6 months. As you know, I led the project to automate our weekly reporting, which is now saving the team about 15 hours a month. I also played a key role in retaining client X, which represents a $30,000 account, and I received this positive feedback from the VP of Sales after my presentation on the Q3 results. You are not boasting. You are stating facts. You are reminding them of the return on investment they are getting from you. Finally, you make your ask, tying it to your future value. Based on this increased level of contribution and the significant value I am bringing to the company, I believe my compensation should be adjusted to reflect that. I have researched market rates for a professional with my skills and a proven track record of these results, and a salary of your target number would be more in line with that value. I am confident that I can continue to deliver this level of results and want to take on even bigger challenges, like mention a future problem you want to solve. This approach completely changes the dynamic. You are not asking for a gift. You are a business partner, presenting a case for a fair exchange of value. You have the data to back it up. If they say no, or that the budget is tight, you can ask a powerful follow-up question. "I understand that budgets can be a challenge. Could we then work together to create a plan for what results I would need to deliver over the next 6 months to make a salary of your target number a reality?" This shows you are collaborative and results-oriented, and it puts the ball in their court to define the path forward. By following these 4 steps, you are no longer a passenger in your career. You are the driver. You are taking control and making yourself undeniably valuable. Playbook number 2, the side hustler. Your first $1,000 on the side. You have chosen the path of the freelancer. Your goal is to take a skill you have and turn it into an independent stream of income. This is the path of action, speed, and direct impact. Forget about building a complex business for now. Forget about logos, websites, and business cards. Our mission for the next 90 days has one single solitary focus: getting your first few paying clients and making your first $1,000. This proves your concept, builds massive confidence, and creates the foundation for future growth. There are 4 steps to this playbook. Step 1. Niche down and create your minimum viable offer. One of the biggest mistakes new freelancers make is being too general. They say, "I am a writer," or "I am a graphic designer." This makes you a commodity. You are competing with everyone. The key to standing out and charging more is to be specific. You need to be a specialist, not a generalist. This is called niching down. Look at your skill stack audit. Let's say your skill is writing. That is too broad. Can you niche down by industry? I write for veterinarians. Can you niche down by format? I write email newsletters. Can you niche down by target audience? I write blog posts for new parents. The magic happens when you combine them. I write email newsletters for companies that sell products to new parents. Now you are not just a writer, you are a specialist. You are the single best option for that very specific client. They will pay more for an expert than a generalist. Once you have your niche, you need to create your minimum viable offer. What is the smallest, simplest, lowest risk service you can sell to get your foot in the door? Do not try to sell a massive $10,000 project. Start with something small. If you are a writer, your offer could be a single 500-word blog post. If you are a graphic designer, it could be a set of social media templates. If you are a bookkeeper, it could be a one-time financial health checkup for a small business. If you are a web developer, it could be a 1-hour consultation to audit their current website for speed and mobile friendliness. Your minimum viable offer should be something you can deliver quickly, that provides a clear and immediate benefit to the client, and has a price point that feels like an easy yes, probably somewhere between $100 and $500. Step 2. Hunt for your first 5 clients. Your goal is not to build a huge client base overnight. Your goal is to get your first 5 paying clients. This number is important. 1 client could be a fluke, 2 could be a coincidence, but 5 paying clients is a pattern. It is proof that you have a valuable service that people are willing to pay for. Where do you find these first 5 clients? We will use a simple 3-pronged attack. First is your warm market. These are the people who already know, like, and trust you, your friends, family, and former colleagues. You are not going to hit them up with a sleazy sales pitch. You are going to send them a simple, honest message. It should say something like this: "Hi name, hope you're doing well. Quick update from my side. In addition to my day job, I have started doing some freelance work on the side. I am focusing on helping your niche with your minimum viable offer. I know this probably is not a fit for you directly, but I was wondering if you know anyone in your network who might be struggling with this. I would be grateful for any introductions. Thanks so much." This is a professional, non-pushy way to let your network know what you are doing. Many freelancers get their first clients this way. Second is the social media proving ground. Find out where your ideal clients hang out online. Is it a specific Facebook group for small business owners? A Reddit community about a particular software? A specific hashtag on LinkedIn or Twitter? Your job is not to go into these groups and spam them with "hire me." Your job is to become the most helpful person in the room. Spend 15 minutes every day in these groups, answering questions and offering genuine, valuable advice for free. When someone asks a question about your area of expertise, give them a thoughtful, detailed answer. People will notice. They will start to see you as an expert. Soon enough, they will start sending you private messages saying, "Your advice was so helpful. Do you offer consulting services?" You are letting the clients come to you by demonstrating your value up front. Third is gentle cold outreach. This involves reaching out to businesses you would like to work with, but this is not about sending 1,000 spam emails. It is about sending 5 to 10 highly personalized, thoughtful emails per week. Find a business in your niche. Study their website or their social media. Find one specific thing you could help them with. Maybe their blog has not been updated in 6 months. Maybe their website has a glaring typo on the homepage. Your email should be short and to the point. The subject line should be quick question about their company name. The body should say, "Hi there, name. I was on your website today and I love what you are doing with," mention something specific and genuine. "I noticed that," point out the small problem you found. "I specialize in helping your niche with your service, and I have an idea for how you could fix this that would take about 15 minutes. Would you be open to a quick chat next week? Best, your name." This is helpful, specific, and non-demanding. The response rate to this kind of personalized outreach is 1,000 times higher than generic spam. Step 3. Price with confidence and get paid up front. One of the biggest fears for new freelancers is talking about money. You need to get over this fast. Remember the value mindset from Chapter 1. You are not charging for your time. You are charging for a solution to a problem. For your minimum viable offer, pick a simple project price. Let's say it is $250 for a blog post. When the client asks, "How much does it cost?" you state your price calmly and confidently. The investment for a 500-word research-backed blog post is $250. Do not say, "Is $250 okay?" Do not say, "I normally charge $300, but for you," just state the price and then be quiet. The first person to speak loses. And here is the most important part of this step. You must always get paid at least 50% up front before you begin any work. This is non-negotiable. It does two things. It protects you from clients who might disappear without paying. And more importantly, it establishes a professional relationship. It shows that you are a serious business owner, not a hobbyist. Getting that first payment in your bank account before you have even done the work is a transformative moment. It makes it real. Step 4. Over-deliver and ask for a testimonial. Once you have a client and have been paid, your job is to do an absolutely fantastic job. Go above and beyond their expectations. If you promised a 500-word blog post, deliver a 700-word one with some extra research. If you promised a design in 3 days, deliver it in 2. Make the experience of working with you so smooth and professional that they are blown away. As soon as the project is complete, while they are still basking in the glow of your amazing work, you will send them a final email. It should say, "Hi, client name. I am so glad you are happy with the final result. I really enjoyed working on this project with you. Would you be open to writing a sentence or two as a testimonial about your experience working with me? It would be a huge help for my new business. Also, if you know anyone else who might need similar help, I would be very grateful for a referral." That testimonial is gold. It is social proof that you can use on your future website or in your proposals. And that referral is the beginning of building a sustainable business. By following this simple 4-step process, you demystify the process of freelancing. You are not trying to build a 6-figure agency overnight. You are focused on one thing: getting tangible results and making that first $1,000. That first $1,000 is the hardest money you will ever earn because it requires you to overcome fear, self-doubt, and inertia. But once you earn it, you will have a proven system you can repeat over and over again, scaling your value and your income along the way. Playbook number 3, the creator. Build once, sell forever. You have chosen the path of the creator. This is the marathon, not the sprint. Your goal is not to trade your time for money, but to build an asset that generates income for you while you sleep. This path requires patience, consistency, and a love for teaching. We are not going to try and build a massive, complex online course or a piece of software. Just like the freelancer, we are starting with the smallest possible version that can provide value and prove our concept. Our goal for the next 90 days is to create and launch your first small digital product. This playbook has 4 steps. Step 1. Find your niche and identify a bleeding neck problem. Just like the freelancer, you cannot be a generalist. You must be a specialist. But for a creator, it is even more important. You are not just going to do work in a niche. You are going to become a trusted voice in that niche. Look at your skill stack audit, especially the intersection of your marketable skills and your passion skills. The best niches for creators are in topics where people are actively spending money to solve a painful problem. These are sometimes called bleeding neck problems, meaning a problem so urgent and painful that you would pay anything to fix it right now. The three big evergreen markets are health, wealth, and relationships. Almost all successful digital products fall into one of these categories. Your passion for baking could fit into health if you focus on gluten-free or sugar-free recipes. Your skill with Excel could fit into wealth if you create templates for small business budgeting. Your skill as a great listener could fit into relationships if you create a guide on how to have difficult conversations. Your job in this first step is to choose your niche and then find one specific, painful problem within it. How do you find the problem? You go where your audience is and you listen. Go to the Reddit communities, the Facebook groups, the online forums dedicated to your niche. What questions are people asking over and over again? What are they complaining about? What are they frustrated with? You are looking for patterns. If you see 10 different people in a week asking, "How do I get my baby to sleep through the night?" that is a bleeding neck problem. If you see people saying, "I have bought all this camera gear, but I am overwhelmed and my photos still look terrible," that is a painful problem. Your first product will be a direct solution to one of these recurring painful problems. Step 2. Create your smallest possible product. New creators always make the same mistake. They try to create their magnum opus, a massive 20-hour video course that covers every conceivable aspect of their topic. This takes months to create, is incredibly intimidating, and by the time they launch it, they often find that no one actually wanted it. We are going to do the opposite. You are going to create the smallest possible thing that could solve the one problem you identified. I call this the $10 product. It should be something so valuable that it is a no-brainer purchase for $10 and so simple for you to create that you can finish it in a single weekend. What could this be? It could be a 10-page PDF guide. For example, the 5-step guide to getting your baby to sleep through the night. It could be a simple spreadsheet template. For example, the ultimate budgeting template for freelancers. It could be a collection of checklists. The pre-flight checklist for drone photographers. It could be a short 30-minute recorded video workshop. A 30-minute workshop on how to take pro-quality photos with your iPhone. It could be a meal plan. A 7-day keto meal plan with shopping list. The key is that it must be hyper-specific and results-oriented. It does not promise to make them a master of the universe. It promises to solve one small, annoying problem quickly and easily. You're going to spend 1 or 2 weeks creating this small product. That is it. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for done and helpful. Step 3. Build an audience of 100. Here is the secret that most new creators miss. You do not need a massive audience to be successful. You do not need 10,000 followers. You need the right followers. For your first launch, your goal is to build a tiny, highly engaged audience of just 100 true fans. These are 100 people who are your ideal customers for the product you are creating. How do you find them? You go back to those online communities where you did your research. But this time, you are not just listening. You are participating. You are going to use the same, be the most helpful person in the room strategy as the freelancer. You will spend 20 minutes a day answering questions and providing value on your topic. At the end of your helpful posts, you will add a simple one-sentence call to action. It should say something like, "If you are interested in learning more about your topic, I share tips every week in my email newsletter. You can sign up here." Your only goal is to get 100 people from these groups to sign up for your free email list. An email list is the most valuable asset a creator can have because it is a direct line of communication that you own and control. Every week, you will send one short, helpful email to this list. It should be 90% value and only 10% promotion. Teach them something new, share a quick tip. Tell a relevant story. You are building trust and establishing yourself as an authority in your small niche. Step 4. Launch to your list. After a few weeks of building your list and providing value, when your small product is ready, it is time to launch. A launch does not have to be a big, scary, stressful event. For this first product, it is just a series of 3 emails you will send to your list of 100 people. Email 1. The problem email. You will send an email that talks about the specific painful problem your product solves. You will agitate the pain a little, showing them that you understand their struggle because you have been there too. At the end, you will say, "I have been working on a small guide that solves this exact problem. I will be releasing it in 2 days. Stay tuned. Email 2. The solution email. This is the launch day email. You will introduce your $10 product. You will clearly explain what it is, who it is for, and most importantly, the result it will help them achieve. You will include a link to buy it. You will use a simple platform like Gumroad or Podia to sell it, which you can set up in under an hour. Email 3. The urgency email. A day or two later, you will send one final email. You can offer a small bonus for people who buy in the next 24 hours, or simply remind them that this is their chance to finally solve that frustrating problem. What happens next? If you have chosen the right problem and built trust with your small audience, some of them will buy. If only 10 people out of your 100 buy your $10 product, you have made $100. This may not sound like life-changing money, but it is one of the most important $100 you will ever make. You have just completed a full cycle. You identified a problem, created a solution, built an audience, and generated revenue. You now have a proven system. You have an asset that can keep selling, and you have direct feedback from your first customers that you can use to improve the product or create the next one. You have laid the first brick in the foundation of your freedom machine. These are the playbooks. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a freelancer, or a creator, you now have a clear, actionable plan for the next 90 days. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to start. Choose one small action from your playbook and do it today. The journey to doubling your income is not made in one giant leap. It is made in 1,000 small, consistent steps. You have your map. You have your first few steps. It is time to start walking. Chapter 4. The Execution Engine. Winning the Week. The greatest plans in the world are utterly worthless without action. You can have the most brilliant strategy, the most detailed map, and the most inspiring goal. But if that plan sits in a notebook on your desk, it is nothing more than a well-written fantasy. We have now reached the most critical juncture in our journey together. The last 3 chapters were about building the perfect race car. We engineered your mindset, we took inventory of your parts, and we designed a specific playbook for the race you are about to run. But a race car sitting in the garage wins no trophies. This chapter is about turning the key, firing up the engine, and learning how to drive that car with skill and discipline, day after day. This is the chapter about execution. The world is filled with a graveyard of good intentions. It is a vast landscape littered with abandoned gym memberships from January, half-finished online courses, and dusty business plans for the next big thing. The difference between the person who dreams about doubling their income and the person who actually does it is not intelligence or talent or luck. It is the ability to show up and do the work, especially when you do not feel like it. It is the power of consistency. A great idea is a starting pistol, but consistency is the muscle and endurance that carries you across the finish line. This chapter is dedicated to building your execution engine. We will forge the systems and habits that will make your progress not just possible, but inevitable. We will talk about how to win the battle against procrastination, how to manage your energy, and how to build a system that guarantees you will do the work required week after week until you reach your goal. Forget motivation for a moment. Motivation is a fickle and unreliable friend. It comes and goes like the weather. We are not going to rely on motivation. We are going to build something far more powerful: discipline and systems. The first and most powerful component of your execution engine is a concept I call the power hour. This is your non-negotiable, sacred and protected block of time dedicated to your X2 goal. The principle is incredibly simple. You will dedicate the very first hour of your workday, or one specific hour every single day, to the single most important activity that will move you toward doubling your income. This hour comes before you check your email. It comes before you scroll through social media. It comes before you react to the urgent but unimportant demands of the outside world. During this 1 hour, you are not an employee or a parent or a consumer. You are the architect of your future. You are working for your own dream before you start working for anyone else's. Why is this so powerful? It works on several psychological levels. First, it leverages your peak energy and willpower. Research has shown that our willpower and our capacity for complex decision-making, what psychologists call our executive function, is a finite resource that depletes throughout the day. Every little decision you make, from what to wear to how to respond to an email to what to have for lunch, chips away at this reserve. By the end of the day, you are suffering from decision fatigue. This is why it feels almost impossible to work on your side hustle or study for a new skill after a long, grueling day at work. You have no willpower left in the tank. The Power Hour solves this by tackling your most important task first, when your mind is fresh and your willpower reserves are at their absolute peak. You are giving your best energy to your most important goal. Second, it guarantees progress. Life is chaotic and unpredictable. Fires will erupt at work. The kids will get sick. Unexpected demands will always pop up and threaten to derail your day. If you plan to work on your goal, when I have time, you will never have time. By carving out the first hour, you ensure that no matter what else happens that day, no matter how crazy things get, you have already moved the needle. You have already gotten your most important work done. This creates an incredible sense of control and accomplishment that carries you through the rest of the day. You are starting your day with a win, which builds momentum. There is a famous story, often attributed to Stephen Covey, that perfectly illustrates this principle. A professor stands before his class with a large empty glass jar. He fills the jar to the top with several large rocks. He then asks the students, "Is the jar full?" They all agree that it is. The professor then picks up a bucket of small pebbles and pours them into the jar. He shakes the jar gently and the pebbles fall into the spaces between the big rocks. He asks again, "Is the jar full?" The students catching on say no. He then picks up a bucket of sand and pours it into the jar. The sand fills all the remaining gaps. He asks one last time, "Is the jar full?" The students respond with a resounding yes. The professor then explains the metaphor. "This jar represents your life," he says. "The big rocks are the truly important things, your health, your family, and your major goals, like this mission to double your income. The pebbles are the other things that matter but are less critical, like your job, your chores, and your social obligations. The sand is everything else, the small stuff, the distractions." He then delivers the crucial lesson. If you put the sand in the jar first, there will be no room for the pebbles or the big rocks. But if you put the big rocks in first, everything else will fit in around them. Your Power Hour is you every single morning, putting your big rock into the jar first. The countless emails you have to answer, the meetings you have to attend, the errands you have to run, that is all just sand. It will expand to fill whatever time you give it. By dedicating the first hour to your X2 goal, you are ensuring that the most important thing gets the space it deserves. So how do you implement the Power Hour in a practical way? It starts the night before. Preparation is key. You must make it as easy as possible for your future self to succeed. Before you go to bed, you will decide on the single, specific task you will work on during your Power Hour. Do not just say, "I will work on my side hustle." That is too vague. Be crystal clear. "I will write the first 3 paragraphs of the blog post for my new client," or "I will research and send personalized outreach emails to 5 potential companies," or "I will complete the next module of my online course on data analytics." Write this one task down on a sticky note and put it on your computer or your desk. Lay out everything you need. If you are going to write, have the document open. If you are going to the gym to improve your health and energy, have your workout clothes laid out. You want to reduce the friction of getting started to absolute zero. When you wake up, you do not check your phone. This is the cardinal rule. Your phone is a machine designed to inject other people's priorities into your brain. The moment you look at it, you are in reactive mode. You are looking at news headlines, social media notifications, and emails from your boss. You are immediately thinking about the world's agenda, not your own. Your phone stays off or in another room. You will get up, do your morning routine, and go directly to the task you laid out the night before. During the Power Hour itself, you operate in a state of complete focus. This means no distractions. Close all unnecessary tabs on your computer. Turn off all notifications. Put on noise-canceling headphones if you need to. For 60 minutes, Your entire universe is the one task in front of you. It will feel strange at first. Your brain, addicted to the dopamine hits of distraction, will try to pull you away. You will feel a sudden urge to check your email or see what is happening on Twitter. Your job is to gently notice that urge and then guide your focus back to the task at hand. This is a form of meditation. It is a workout for your attention span. What you do during your power hour depends on the playbook you chose in the last chapter. If you are the entrepreneur, your power hour could be spent working on that value-adding project you propose to your boss. It could be spent researching industry trends to bring new ideas to your team. It could be spent updating your brag document and preparing the business case for your promotion. If you are the freelancer, your power hour is your sacred business development time. This is when you do your outreach. You send your personalized emails, you spend time in the online groups, being helpful, you draft proposals for new clients. This is the work that fills your pipeline and generates revenue. You are working on your business, not just in it. If you are the creator, your power hour is your creation time. This is when you write your ebook. You outline your course. You record your video. You write your weekly email to your audience. This is the deep, focused work that builds your asset. After 60 minutes, you stop. You have done your work. You have won the day, and it is only 9 in the morning. The feeling of accomplishment this generates is profound. It builds a positive feedback loop. You feel good because you did the work, which makes you more likely to do the work again tomorrow. You have made a deposit in the bank of your future self. Now you can go about the rest of your day dealing with the sand and the pebbles, knowing that your big rock is already securely in place. The power hour is the cornerstone of your execution engine. If you do nothing else from this chapter, do this. It is a habit that, over the course of a year, will have a more transformative impact on your life than any other. Of course, even with the best of intentions and a scheduled power hour, we all face the great enemy of progress: procrastination. Procrastination is not a simple matter of being lazy. It is a complex emotional response. We procrastinate on tasks because, on some level, they make us feel uncomfortable. Understanding the root cause of that discomfort is the key to overcoming it. There are generally 4 types of fear that fuel procrastination. First is the fear of failure. This is the most common one. We are afraid that if we try, we will not be good enough. If you try to launch a freelance business and no one hires you, it feels like a personal rejection. If you ask for a big raise and your boss says no, it feels like a judgment on your worth. To avoid this potential pain, we simply avoid the task. We tell ourselves we will do it when we are more prepared, which is just a convenient lie. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone to success. Every successful person you admire has a long list of failures and rejections that you have never seen. Failure is just data. It is feedback on what is not working. So you can adjust your approach and try again. Second, and more subtly, is the fear of success. This sounds strange, but it is very real. Success brings change, and change can be scary. What if your side hustle takes off and you have to quit your stable job? What if you get that big promotion and you suddenly have more responsibility and pressure than you think you can handle? Success means you will have to step into a new identity, and your subconscious mind, which loves comfort and familiarity, will often sabotage your efforts to keep you safe in your current known reality. Third is perfectionism. Perfectionism is just fear of failure dressed up in fancy clothes. We tell ourselves we cannot start the project until we have the perfect idea, the perfect plan, or the perfect skills. We spend weeks designing the perfect logo instead of getting our first client. We read 20 books on a topic instead of taking the first small action. Perfectionism is a trap because the perfect time never arrives. The key is to embrace the mantra, done is better than perfect. Your first attempt at anything will likely be clumsy and imperfect. That is not a failure, it is a necessary first draft. Fourth is the feeling of being overwhelmed. When a task seems too big and complex, like double my income, our brain shuts down. We do not know where to start, so we do not start at all. We escape to the comfort of easy, low-value tasks like checking email. The good news is that there are simple, tactical weapons you can use to fight these demons of procrastination. Your first weapon is the 2-minute rule, a concept popularized by author James Clear. The rule has 2 parts. First, if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Do not put it on a to-do list. Just get it done. This clears out the mental clutter of small nagging tasks. The second part is the more powerful one for our big goals. For any new habit or large project, your goal is to scale it down to something that takes less than 2 minutes to start. You do not sit down to write a book. You sit down to write 1 sentence. You do not build a freelance business. You send 1 email. You do not learn to code. You open the coding tutorial and watch the first 2 minutes. The point of the 2-minute rule is that the hardest part of any task is getting started. Motivation often comes after starting, not before. By making the starting ritual impossibly easy, you bypass the friction and resistance. Anyone can write 1 sentence. Anyone can send 1 email. But what often happens is that once you have started, once you have overcome that initial inertia, it is much easier to continue. Writing 1 sentence often turns into writing a whole paragraph. Sending 1 email often leads to sending 3 or 4. The 2-minute rule is your secret weapon to get the flywheel moving. Your second weapon against feeling overwhelmed is to master the art of chunking. This means taking your large, intimidating projects and breaking them down into the smallest possible component tasks. Launch my first digital product is a terrifyingly large project, but it can be broken down. The first chunk might be brainstorm 10 possible product ideas. The next chunk is research the top 3 ideas on Reddit. The next is choose 1 idea. The next is outline the 5 main sections of the PDF guide. The next is write the first section. Each of these chunks is a small, manageable task that you can probably complete in a single power hour or Pomodoro session. It transforms a giant abstract mountain into a simple series of small, walkable steps. You should always be working off a list of these small chunks, never from a vague, large goal. Your third weapon is a time management technique, like the Pomodoro technique. This method, developed by Francesco Cirillo, is brilliantly simple. You set a timer for 25 minutes and work on a single task with intense focus. No interruptions. When the timer goes off, you put a check mark on a piece of paper and take a 5-minute break. You get up, stretch, get a glass of water. After the break, you set the timer for another 25-minute session. After 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This technique works because it forces you to focus in short bursts, which is more aligned with our natural rhythms of concentration. The 25-minute deadline creates a gentle sense of urgency that helps you stay on task. And the scheduled breaks prevent burnout and keep your mind fresh. It is a powerful system for managing your energy and attention throughout the day. Your fourth weapon is the principle of eating the frog, a concept from Brian Tracy. The frog is your most important and often most difficult task of the day. It is the task you are most likely to procrastinate on. The principle states that you should tackle that one task first thing in the morning. This connects perfectly with the power hour. Your power hour task should always be your ugliest frog. By getting it out of the way first, you ensure that the rest of the day is easier in comparison, and you get a massive psychological boost from knowing you have already accomplished the most significant thing on your list. These tactical weapons, the 2-minute rule chunking, the Pomodoro technique, and eating the frog, are your day-to-day tools for winning the war against procrastination and building an unstoppable execution engine. As you begin to implement these systems, it is vital to embrace a broader philosophical shift in your thinking. You need to fall in love with systems over goals. A goal is the result you want to achieve: doubling your income, losing 30 pounds, writing a novel. A system is the process you follow that will lead to that result. Sending 5 outreach emails a day, exercising for 30 minutes 3 times a week, writing 500 words every morning. There are several problems with being too goal-oriented. First, goals can be demotivating. When you are just starting out, your current reality is very far from your goal. This huge gap can be discouraging. You work hard for a week, and you are still nowhere near doubling your income, which can make you feel like a failure. Second, goals are something that are only achieved in the future, which can rob you of happiness in the present. You tell yourself, I will be happy when I get that promotion. This creates a constant state of waiting and deferring your well-being. Finally, and most importantly, you do not have direct control over your goals. You cannot control whether a client says yes. You cannot control whether your boss gives you a raise. You cannot control whether people buy your product. Focusing on things you cannot control is a recipe for anxiety and frustration. A system, on the other hand, is entirely within your control. You cannot control if a client hires you, but you can control whether you send 5 well-researched outreach emails. You cannot control if you get the promotion, but you can control whether you spend an hour each day developing a new skill and tracking your wins. You cannot control if you make $1,000 this month, but you can control whether you write your weekly newsletter and engage with your audience every single day. When you focus on the system, you win every time you execute the process. You shift the definition of a win from an outcome you cannot control to an action you can. Every day you complete your power hour is a win. Every day you send your emails is a win. Every day you write your words is a win. This creates a cascade of small victories that builds confidence and momentum. It also forges your identity. You are no longer just someone who wants to be a writer. You are a writer because you have a system of writing every day. You are no longer just someone who wants to be a successful freelancer. You are a freelancer because you have a system of daily business development. Your actions, repeated consistently, shape your belief in who you are. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the daily reps. The goal is just a byproduct. The system is where the magic happens. Your action step is to define your system. Based on your playbook, what is the one repeatable daily or weekly action that will lead to your goal? Write it down. For the entrepreneur, my system is to spend my power hour making progress on my value-added project and to update my brag document every Friday. For the freelancer, my system is to send 3 personalized pitches and spend 20 minutes providing value in one online group every weekday. For the creator, my system is to write for my product for 45 minutes and then spend 15 minutes engaging with my audience every weekday. This is your system. Your only job is to honor it. Finally, no execution engine is complete without a feedback loop. You need a way to track your progress, learn from your mistakes, and adjust your course. This is why the final piece of our system is the weekly review. This is a simple 30-minute appointment you will make with yourself every Sunday evening. During this review, you will look back at the past week and answer 3 simple questions. Question 1. What went well? You must start with the positive. Did you stick to your power hour every day? Did you land a new client? Did you get a positive piece of feedback? Celebrate these wins. Acknowledging your progress is crucial for maintaining motivation. Question 2. What did not go well? Be honest, but not judgmental. Where did you fall short of your plan? Did you get distracted and miss a power hour? Did you let a fear of rejection stop you from sending your outreach emails? The goal here is not to beat yourself up. The goal is to identify the friction points. Where is your system breaking down? Question and D3. What will I do differently next week to improve? This is the most important question. Based on your answers to the first 2 questions, you will create a small, actionable plan for the coming week. If you struggled with distractions during your power hour, your plan might be, this week I will leave my phone in another room during my power hour. If you struggled to find the time for outreach, your plan might be, this week I will time block 30 minutes in my calendar every afternoon, specifically for sending my 3 emails. This process of reflection and adjustment turns your journey into an intelligent process of continuous improvement. You are not just blindly working, you are working, measuring, learning, and adapting. This is how you ensure that you are not just busy, but effective. The journey to doubling your income is not about a single moment of breakthrough. It is not about a lightning strike of inspiration. It is about the quiet, unglamorous, and relentless execution of small daily actions. It is about the power hour you honor when you are tired. It is about the outreach email you send when you are scared of rejection. It is about the chapter you write when you feel uninspired. Each of these actions is a vote for the person you want to become. Each one is a push on the heavy flywheel. Alone, they seem insignificant, but compounded over weeks and months, they create a force of momentum that becomes unstoppable. You have the plan, you have the playbooks. Now, you have the execution engine. It is time to get on the field and start winning the week. Chapter 5. Beyond X2. Building your freedom machine. Congratulations, you have come an incredibly long way. You started this journey with a desire for more, a feeling of being stuck on a financial treadmill. You have since transformed your entire approach to work and money. You rewired your mindset for abundance. You took a deep inventory of your hidden skills and assets. You chose a specific, actionable playbook, and using the execution engine we built in the last chapter, you started taking consistent, disciplined action. By now, you should be seeing the results. Maybe you have landed that significant raise at work. Maybe your freelance business is consistently bringing in an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Maybe you have launched your first digital product and made your first sales. You are on the path. You have felt the incredible power that comes from taking control of your financial destiny. You have proven to yourself that it is possible. But this brings us to a new and, in some ways, more dangerous part of the journey. Achieving a higher income is one challenge. Keeping it, growing it, and using it to build a life of genuine freedom is another challenge entirely. The world is full of people who make a lot of money, but are still just as trapped, stressed, and unfulfilled as they were before. They simply upgraded their treadmill. They went from a rusty, squeaky treadmill to a high-tech, expensive one with a television screen, but they are still running in place. The goal of this journey was never just to double your income. That was the first step. The true goal is to use that income as a tool to build what I call your freedom machine, a system of assets and financial stability that gives you options, resilience, and control over your time, which is your most precious and finite resource. This final chapter is about what to do next. It is about how to turn your short-term win into long-term wealth and a life designed on your terms. The very first dragon you will have to slay on this new path is a beast known as lifestyle creep, or lifestyle inflation. This is the single greatest destroyer of wealth for high earners. Lifestyle creep is the subtle, almost invisible tendency to increase your spending as your income increases. It makes perfect sense on the surface. You got a $10,000 raise, so you decide you can finally afford that nicer apartment that costs an extra $400 a month. Your side hustle brought in an extra $1,000 last month, so you celebrate by getting a new car with a higher monthly payment. You tell yourself, I deserve it, Irv. I have worked so hard. And you do deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But if you are not careful, this slow, steady inflation of your lifestyle will consume every single dollar of your new income, leaving you in the exact same financial position as before, just with more expensive stuff. You are still living paycheck to paycheck. You still have no savings. You still have no freedom. The only thing that has changed is that your golden handcuffs have gotten heavier and more comfortable. Lifestyle creep is fueled by a psychological principle called hedonic adaptation. This is the observed tendency of humans to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative life events. When you first get that new car, it is thrilling. You feel a surge of happiness and pride every time you drive it, but after a few months that thrill fades. The car is no longer a new luxury, it is just your car. It has become your new baseline. To get that same thrill again, you need something even better. This is the hedonic treadmill, and it is a game you can never win. There will always be a bigger house, a faster car, a more exotic vacation. Chasing happiness through consumption is a recipe for being permanently broke, no matter how much you earn. So how do you fight this powerful, insidious force? You do it with a simple but profoundly difficult rule. I call it the 6-month freeze. For the first 6 months after you experience a significant and stable increase in your income, you will not change your lifestyle. Not one bit. You will continue to live in the same apartment. You will drive the same car. You will eat at the same restaurants. You will operate your personal life as if the raise never happened. This discipline is crucial for 2 reasons. First, it allows you to see just how much extra income you truly have. It creates a clear separation between your old financial reality and your new one. Second, and more importantly, it breaks the emotional link between earning more and spending more. It trains your brain to see that extra money not as fuel for consumption, but as a powerful tool for building your freedom. The most effective way to implement the 6-month freeze is to make it automatic. As soon as you get your new higher paycheck, you are going to go into your online banking and set up an automated transfer. Calculate the exact amount of your raise after taxes. Let's say it is $800 a month. You will set up an automatic transfer for that $800 to move from your checking account to a separate high-yield savings account the day after you get paid. This is critical. You must pay your future self first. The money is moved before you even have a chance to see it or think about spending it. It becomes invisible. You continue to live on your old income because that is all that is left in your checking account. This one automated action is your greatest defense against the temptations of lifestyle creep. It is the dam that holds back the flood of mindless spending. After 6 months of this, you will have accumulated a significant chunk of money. In our example, $800 a month for 6 months is $4,800. You will have proven to yourself that you can live without that extra money. You have broken the cycle. Now you can make a conscious and deliberate decision about what to do with that surplus. Of course, you can allocate a small portion, say 10 or 20%, to a lifestyle upgrade if you choose. But the majority of that money and all future surplus now has a new and much more important job. This brings us to the core of your freedom machine, giving every single one of your new dollars a specific and powerful job to do. You are now the Chief Executive Officer of your own personal financial corporation. Your income is your revenue, and your dollars are your employees. You can either deploy them foolishly on tasks that provide no long-term return, like a fancier lunch, or you can deploy them strategically to build the infrastructure of your freedom. For the new money you are generating, there are only 3 jobs that matter, and you must do them in this specific order of priority. Job number 1. Eradicate high-interest debt. High-interest debt, like credit card debt, payday loans, or high-interest personal loans, is not just a financial problem. It is a mathematical emergency. It is a fire burning down your financial house. Every single day you carry this debt, you are fighting against the powerful force of compound interest working in reverse. A typical credit card interest rate of 20% means you are paying a 20% tax on your past consumption, a tax that holds you back from building your future. There is no investment in the world that can offer a guaranteed, risk-free 20% return. But paying off your credit card debt does exactly that. Every dollar you put towards that debt is a dollar that you are saving from being consumed by interest. It is the single highest and safest return on investment available to you. Before you think about investing, before you think about saving for a down payment, you must become a ruthless debt assassin. Take all of the extra money you have accumulated during your 6-month freeze and any future surplus and throw it at your highest interest debt first. This is called the avalanche method. You make the minimum payments on all your debts and then you unload every spare dollar onto the one with the highest interest rate. Once that one is paid off, you take all the money you were paying on it and add it to the payment for the next highest interest rate debt. You create a snowball of payments that grows larger and larger, wiping out your debts with incredible speed. Becoming debt-free is like taking off a weighted vest you did not even realize you were wearing. It frees up your most powerful wealth-building tool, your income. Your money is no longer working for the banks. It is now ready to start working for you. Job number 2, build your courage capital. Once your high-interest debt is gone, your next mission is to build a safety net. Most people call this an emergency fund. I find that term to be uninspiring. It makes you think of negative things like losing your job or your car breaking down. I prefer to call it your freedom fund, or even better, your courage capital, because that is what this money really is. It is not just for emergencies. It is the financial foundation that gives you the courage to make bold moves in your life. Courage capital is the 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses that you keep in a safe, liquid, and easily accessible place, like a high-yield savings account. It is not for investing. Its return is not measured in interest, but in peace of mind. Knowing you have 6 months of living expenses in the bank completely changes how you operate in the world. It is the ultimate source of professional and personal power. It means you can walk away from a toxic job without having to immediately take the first offer that comes along. It means if you are a freelancer, you can say no to a nightmare client with unreasonable demands. It means you can take a calculated risk, like starting a new business or taking a few months off to learn a new skill without the terror of going broke. It is the money that allows you to negotiate from a position of strength, not desperation. It is the money that lets you sleep soundly at night, knowing that you can handle whatever financial curveballs life throws at you. Calculating your courage capital is simple. Track your expenses for a month or two and figure out the absolute minimum you need to live on. This includes your rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, and insurance. It does not include discretionary spending like restaurants, entertainment, or vacations. Multiply that monthly number by 3 to 6, depending on your risk tolerance and the stability of your income. That is your target number. Every spare dollar you have, after your debt is paid off, goes towards building this fund until it is complete. Do not skip this step. This fund is the bedrock of your entire freedom machine. Job number 3, invest in assets. This is the final and most exciting job for your money. This is where you make the profound shift from working for your money to having your money work for you. With your high-interest debt gone and your courage capital fully funded, you can now deploy your surplus income to buy or create assets. What is an asset? In the simplest terms, an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. A house you live in is a liability. It costs you money every month in mortgage, taxes, and upkeep. A house you rent out to a tenant for a profit is an asset. A fancy car is a liability. A stock that pays you a dividend is an asset. Your goal is to use your income to acquire as many assets as possible. There are 2 primary categories of assets you should focus on. The first is investing in the stock market through simple, low-cost index funds. This may sound complicated, but it is actually the simplest and most proven way for the average person to build long-term wealth. An index fund is just a big basket that holds tiny pieces of hundreds or thousands of the biggest companies in the world. When you buy a share of an index fund, like one that tracks the S&P 500, you are instantly diversified across the entire market. You are betting on the long-term growth of the economy as a whole. You do not have to worry about picking individual winning stocks. Over the long term, this strategy has consistently outperformed the vast majority of professional money managers. You can set up an account with a low-cost brokerage firm, automate a monthly investment, and then just let it grow for decades. This is your slow and steady wealth-building machine. The second category of assets, and potentially the one with the highest return, is to reinvest in yourself and your own business. If you are a freelancer, this could mean buying a better piece of equipment that makes you more efficient. It could mean taking an advanced course that allows you to offer a more valuable service and charge higher rates. If you are a creator, it could mean investing in marketing to grow your audience, or hiring a virtual assistant to handle administrative tasks, freeing you up to create more products. The return on investment in your own skills and your own business can be astronomical, far exceeding what you could get in the stock market. You are betting on the one asset you have the most control over, yourself. By systematically deploying your new income into these 3 jobs, first debt, then savings, then investments, you are doing something revolutionary. You are not just earning more. You are building a machine. You are laying down the tracks for a future where your income is no longer 100% dependent on your own time and effort. You are buying back your future freedom, $1 at a time. As you continue on this path, you will begin to experience a powerful phenomenon that business thinker Jim Collins calls the flywheel effect. Collins uses the analogy of a massive, heavy metal flywheel. To get it moving, you have to push with all your might. The first turn is agonizingly slow. It takes a monumental effort just to move it a few inches. You keep pushing, and the second turn is still hard, but it is a little bit easier. You keep pushing consistently in the same direction, and after hundreds of pushes, a breakthrough happens. The momentum of the flywheel itself starts to work for you. Each push now adds to the momentum, and the flywheel spins faster and faster, seemingly on its own. Your journey to doubling your income is exactly like this. Those first few months of building your new habits, getting your first client, securing your first raise, or making your first product sale. That was the agonizing first push. It took a huge amount of focused effort and willpower. But you kept pushing. You stayed consistent. Now the flywheel is starting to turn. Momentum is building. If you are an entrepreneur, your reputation for being a problem solver is growing. New, interesting projects start coming to you. You are no longer pushing to prove your value. Your value is recognized. If you are a freelancer, your first happy clients are now giving you glowing testimonials and referring new business to you. You are spending less time hunting for work because work is starting to hunt for you. You can now be more selective and start to raise your rates. If you are a creator, your small audience is starting to grow organically. Your first product is getting positive reviews, which makes selling it to new customers easier. The flywheel of content creation and audience growth is starting to spin. This is the magic of the middle. It is the phase where you transition from grinding to gliding. It is where your past efforts start to compound. Your success begins to build on itself. The key during this phase is to not get complacent. You have to keep pushing on the flywheel consistently. Keep honoring your power hour. Keep refining your systems. Keep providing value. The momentum you are building is precious. Your job is to protect it and nurture it, and to let it carry you to levels of success you never thought possible. We have come to the end of our journey together in this book, but it is really just the beginning of yours. We started with a simple, audacious goal: to double your income in 12 months. But I hope you have realized by now that the true prize was never the number in your bank account. The money is just a tool. It is a resource. The real transformation has been in you. You have learned how to change your mindset from scarcity to value. You have learned how to identify your unique skills and connect them to the needs of the world. You have learned how to build systems for disciplined execution and overcome the fears that hold so many people back. You have learned how to manage your resources to build a machine that produces not just money, but freedom, security, and options. The ultimate goal of this journey is to redefine what it means to be rich. Being rich is not about having a luxury car or a designer watch. That is just a shallow and fleeting illusion of wealth. True wealth is having control over your time. It is the ability to wake up in the morning and decide how you want to spend your day. It is the freedom to work on projects that excite and challenge you with people you respect. It is the power to say no to things that drain your energy and spirit. It is having the time and resources to be present with the people you love, to pursue your curiosities, and to contribute to causes you care about. This is the freedom you have been building. This is the destination your flywheel is spinning towards. The end of this book is just the start of your journey. The principles we have talked about, mindset, value, action, and consistency, are not things you learn once. They are muscles you have to train every single week. If you want to continue this conversation, to get regular insights and new strategies to keep that flywheel spinning, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Audio Waves, where we explore these ideas and more together. Let's keep building.